Stacey, the appeals process for Jerry Sandusky officially got underway today here in Center County. His attorneys arguing that they simply didn't have enough time to prepare for the trial given the overwhelming amount of evidence that was presented to them by prosecutors. Ken, this is the day Steeler fans look forward to all year long, and even the humidity and threat of storms wasn't going to keep them away. And people living here in downtown Latrobe had to wade through more than a foot of water to salvage what they could from inside their homes. Latrobe had to battle other cities to claim ownership of this decadent dessert, most notably Wilmington, Ohio, where a similar treat was made in 1907.
You're watching KDKA TV News in high definition.
Good morning to you and welcome to KDKA Saturday. I'm Trina Orlando. The National Retail Federation says the first big weekend of the holiday shopping season was a big success. Wow. I feel like I've been smiling this whole newscast. Hockey's back, heat wave. Does it get any better? Thanks, Bob.
All right.
That's KDKA TV News at 6:30. Our next report is tonight at 11. For news anytime, log on to kdka.com. Make it a great night. On the eve of his sentencing, Jerry Sandusky is continuing to maintain his innocence. He says there was a broad conspiracy against him, and he plans to appeal following his sentencing. Jerry Sandusky opted not to testify at his trial, but is now speaking out. The former Penn State assistant football coach recorded a 3-minute statement in jail and released it to the student-run radio station on the eve of his sentencing.
They can take away my life. They can make me out as a monster. They can treat me as a monster, but they can't take away my heart. In my heart, I know I did not do these alleged disgusting acts.
Sandusky will be heard again tomorrow when he addresses the court before he is sentenced on 45 counts of child sex abuse.
A young man who is dramatic, a veteran accuser, and always sought attention, started everything.
Defense attorney Joe Amendola, who was at the courthouse today for a brief meeting, says one thing you should not expect to hear from his client is an apology.
The bottom line is, with a person who maintains his innocence, how can he be remorseful if he says I'm innocent?
Judge John Cleland could put Sandusky behind bars for more than 200 years. He could also give a sentence of just 10 years if he allowed Sandusky to serve mandatory minimums concurrently. The judge will hear victim impact statements before imposing the sentence.
Could be as many as a half a dozen, we'll see. Okay. Depends on how they feel and how they respond to the moments.
Several members of the jury that convicted Sandusky also plan to be in the courtroom for the sentencing.
I think we really expect that he's going to get life. I think it's hard to believe that there could be anything else.
And the sentencing is scheduled to begin at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning here in Bellefonte. A limited number of community members will be allowed into the courtroom on a first-come, first-served basis. We are live in Center County tonight. Trina Orlando, KDKA TV News. A somber day in Shanksville here at the Flight 93 National Memorial, where people gathered to mark the 11th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks.
Christian Adams.
One by one, family members read the names of those who gave up their lives in Shanksville on September 11th, 2001.
William Joseph Cashman.
It was 11 years ago today that 40 ordinary men and women became extraordinary. They fought back against the hijackers and brought down Flight 93 in an empty field.
Together, as we gaze out upon this hallowed ground, especially the very hallowed ground right behind us, let us reflect upon and let us celebrate the spirit of America as we remember and honor those who rose up to defend her on that dark day 11 years ago.
A smaller crowd than in years past watched as a wreath was laid along the memorial wall that traces the path of Flight 93.
My personal prayer for all of you is that in every succeeding year, you're able to sing more than you weep.
With the ceremonial opening of the gate, Vice President Joe Biden led family members to the sacred ground where their loved ones made the ultimate sacrifice.
As I come here, it's always a sense of sorrow and loss, and this is where my brother lost his life. But then when you look around and you see this memorial just growing in front of our eyes, there's a sense of comfort.
And the National Memorial here in Shanksville was officially dedicated last year on the 10th anniversary of the terror attacks. Officials today vowing to have all phases of the project complete by the 15th anniversary in 2016. In Shanksville, Trina Orlando, KDKA TV News.